Avengers Infinity War isn't premiering until May of 2018. Even though it's less than a year away, it feels like an eternity. With all this free time, we can't help but theorize about what's going to happen. Like the multiverse, there are endless possibilities, which is why we pick the best theories we believe will come true. Why not slide on over to the subscribe button for the CBR channel?
Then you push this button.
One click on the red button means videos delivered to your inbox daily. How's that for service?
That shield doesn't belong to you. You don't deserve it. My father made that shield.
A new Captain America. At the end of Captain America Civil War, we saw the dismemberment of the once mighty. Captain America, Bucky, and Iron Man are battling it out. Really though, the conflict is between Steve Rogers and Tony Stark due to their opposing views on the Sokovia Accords.
If we sign this, we surrender our right to choose. We may not be perfect, but the safest hands are still our own.
As the fight wages, Captain America pins Tony Stark. He disables the Iron Man suit. As Cap and Bucky begin to leave, Tony says that Rogers is no longer worthy of the Captain America mantle. He agrees with his once friend and teammate. Cap drops his shield and leaves. This is a very dramatic moment with serious implications for the MCU. Although he helped break into the raft to free his friends, he did so without being dressed as Captain America. In the comics, Rogers gave up his alias and other superheroes stepped into the role of Cap.
Don't look at me. I do what he does, just slower.
Given what happened in Civil War, we believe Rogers will be giving up the uniform, like he did in the comics. Who will take his place? We believe it's going to be Bucky Barnes. The two men have been lifelong friends, they share similar perspectives, and Cap came to Bucky's aid when no one else would. We think Bucky will return the favor. Let us know who you think the new Cap will be.
I'm sorry I didn't do none of it right. I'm damn lucky you, my boy.
What?
All dead characters come back. The Marvel Cinematic Universe has witnessed a handful of devastating deaths over the last 10 years. 3 of the biggest characters to be killed off in the world is Pietro Maximoff, Yondu, and the Ancient One. We could count the death of Howard Stark at the hands of Bucky Barnes as well. Even though Howard is not technically an enhanced human like others listed in this entry, he's still game-changing potential as a Stark. When Thanos collects all of the Infinity Stones, he essentially wields all the power in the universe. In his possession will be the Reality Stone. Thanos could use the stone to bring back these characters for Infinity Wars.
The Time Stone. Undefeatable because time is a power that no one can escape.
There are significant ways he could use these superheroes. Thanos would resurrect characters and have them fight on his behalf. Even Thanos doesn't have to fight anyone directly. Imagine Wanda having to go up against her brother. Star-Lord squaring off with Yondu after their emotional reconciliation would be devastating. Using previous relationships as a manipulation tool to weaken his opponents gives Thanos the upper hand.
Oh my God, is that the thing that's keeping you alive?
It was. It is now an antique. This is what will be keeping me alive for the foreseeable future.
Tony wears the arc reactor again. Tony Stark reuniting with the arc reactor is exciting fans all across the MCU. The evidence for this taking place in the Avengers Infinity Wars comes from Mr. Robert Downey Jr. himself. While the film is being shot, we know the cast and crew love to drop some spoilers for us on social media. On June 21st of this year, Robert Downey Jr. put what looked like a harmless tweet. Hanging out on the set, he's having lunch with his castmates, and if you look close enough at Downey, past the can he's holding up, you see a hole in his shirt. There's a clear circle cut out from the cloth right below the collar. You can see his bare chest peeping through. That hole can only mean one thing. Tony Stark is getting the arc reactor back in his chest.
You know, I've got a cluster of shrapnel trying every second to crawl its way into my heart. This stops it. This little circle of light, it's part of me now.
You went through Avengers Age of Ultron and Captain America Civil War without it. How does it get back in there? Well, that's up for debate. We think it has something to do with the Time Stone. Do they have to return to the past that forms an alternate timeline where Tony never got it removed? Let us know what you think.
Well, I could have stuck the landing a little better. It's just a new suit. Wait, it's nothing. Mr. Stark, it's perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, we don't really need to start a conversation.
Okay.
Spider-Man wears a new suit. Spider-Man has 2 appearances in the MCU under his Spidey belt. His cameo during the air hangar scene in Captain America Civil War gave audiences a taste. Spider-Man Homecoming provided fans with a full meal. Now we're ready for more Peter Parker on-screen action in the upcoming Infinity Wars film. This got us thinking. Over the course of the 2 films, Peter has 3 different versions of his Spidey suit. We know how important a superhero's suit is. It's more than just a costume. Peter learned this lesson in Homecoming when he unlocked all the capabilities Stark embedded in his suit. He also learns what it means when a suit is taken away. Despite the introduction of the Mark II suit at the end of Homecoming, we believe Parker is going to be wearing a different suit in Infinity Wars. We foresee Spider-Man wearing a black suit. With the convergence of over 60 heroes slated for this film, many are going to be from outer space. Spider-Man could travel with the Guardians of the Galaxy, maybe go to Asgard with Thor, or end up on a totally new planet. The black suit could be reimagined as the deep space suit. Then it gets discarded at the end of the film, setting up for the symbiote Venom.
Do what you do best. Carry on. avenge.
We are the Avengers.
That's it. All new, all different Avengers.
New Avengers. From a practical point of view, the actors attached to the MCU sign contracts. Some are coming up to the end of theirs, and others are just beginning. In order to keep the MCU thriving and fresh, we believe the Infinity War films are going to reset the universe and the characters. There needs to be a cataclysmic event that fundamentally changes the playing field for all the superheroes in the universe.
Nothing lasts forever.
Trouble, Ms. Romanoff. No matter who wins or loses, trouble still comes around.
Thanos and the Infinity Stones are a big enough event to make that happen. We believe the current roster of Avengers and heroes will experience loss. We know from interviews that 60 characters are set to be in this film, which means there's a lot of new superheroes. Combine this with Tony Stark's devastating vision from Age of Ultron, where all the founding Avengers are dying and you've got a recipe for a shakeup. We believe the new generation of Avengers will emerge from this during Infinity Wars. The new squad will include some faces we've seen already, like Black Panther, Bucky, Ant-Man, and Doctor Strange. Then there are potential characters we haven't seen yet, like Captain Marvel and Wasp. We'll be sad to lose some of our favorite Avengers, but imagine all the possibilities ahead.
Is that?
What, the gem?
It's the Mind Stone.
Vision will die. In the Avengers Age of Ultron, when Marvel was introduced to its newest and unexpected team member in the form of Vision. It's been interesting to watch his character arc play out. Having started out as an artificially intelligent entity, Vision provides the audience with the ultimate outsider perspective. A perfect hybrid of organic and inorganic materials, Vision is fighting on behalf of humanity without experiencing it firsthand. Vision has a lot of opportunity for growth and change, which is why we'll be sad when Thanos kills Vision in the Avengers Infinity War film. Thanos is on an intergalactic quest to obtain all the Infinity Stones. Who has the Mind Stone embedded in his forehead? We saw what happened when Hawkeye and the other Avengers were exposed to the stone's power. It literally bends the subject to its wielder. Thanos will not give up until he has the stone. When Thanos rips the stone out of Vision, it's like ripping out his heart. Will he be able to survive without it? We don't think so.
Maximoff girl, she's working you, Stark. Playing on your fear.
I wasn't tricked. I was shown. It wasn't a nightmare. It was my legacy. The end of the path I started us on.
Tony's vision is a scene from Infinity War. In Avengers Age of Ultron, Tony Stark experiences a total immersion vision brought on by the Scarlet Witch. What he lives over the next 2 minutes is like a walking nightmare. It's dark and surreal. Despite it being a vision induced by Wanda, there's no evidence at the time it would come true. We believe Tony's vision is foreshadowing. Wanda tapped into the future, and we saw events that will occur in Infinity Wars. He sees the Incredible Hulk on the ground with labored breathing. Black Widow is sprawled out, eyes unblinking. Hawkeye is sitting upwards, but you can tell something isn't right because he's slumped over. Even the powerful god Thor has been taken out. Cap's shield is broken in two. Rogers, in his last breath, tells Tony that he could have saved them.
You could have saved us.
And asks why he didn't do more. At the time, speculation was this was merely a mind game Wanda played on Tony. However, with the release of more movies in the MCU, this sequence seems more like a flash forward.
Only I am worthy of that. The Infinity Gauntlet. Ultimate power. Now mine!
2 Infinity Gauntlets. In the comic books, in order for an entity to wield the total power of the stones combined, they have to use an Infinity Gauntlet. When the wearer combines all the stones into the glove, they're able to do whatever they want. While Thanos is on the hunt for the stones in the MCU, in the comic books he has successfully obtained all of them and the gauntlet. Taking a page from the comics, the MCU Thanos takes the Infinity Gauntlet during a post-credits sequence in Age of Ultron. Or at least he has taken one of the gauntlets.
Okay, what?
We believe there's a second gauntlet that's going to come into play during Infinity Wars. The second is in Odin's vault back on Asgard. During the first assault on the ice giants on Asgard, you can catch a glimpse of the gold glove with 6 stones embedded in the knuckles. Granted, since that sequence, we've seen the stones scattered throughout the universe. However, that doesn't mean there isn't a second gauntlet that would allow one of the Avengers to be able to combat Thanos.
This is the staff of the Living Tribunal.
Baron Mordo is the key to beating Thanos. In the comic books, Thanos is considered one of the most powerful entities in the universe. There are very few beings that either rival or exceed Thanos' power.
If I can't hit you with the hammer, then I'll hit the hammer with you!
The beings the Beyonder and Eternity are considered omnipotent and capable of defeating Thanos. The third vastly powerful being that has taken on the Big Purple is the Living Tribunal. In Doctor Strange, Baron Mordo discusses the powers of magical relics.
This is a relic. Some magic is too powerful to sustain, so we imbue objects with it.
His own relic is referred to as the staff of the Living Tribunal. That reference can come across as a throwaway in the conversation, but it certainly caused fans to perk up. The Living Tribunal is not a reference to be tossed around lightly in the MCU. This weapon has significant implications in the battle against Thanos. In the comic books, the Tribunal functions as a safeguard for the multiverse. It is a three-headed god of judgment that seeks to keep balance. Thanos, amassing all the Infinity Stones and the Infinity Gauntlet, would constitute an imbalance in good and evil.
You and I can hurt them, but you will tear them apart.
Scarlet Witch is a villain. We know the major antagonist of the Avengers Infinity Wars is Thanos. His journey to collecting all of the Infinity Stones throughout the MCU has been well documented. We've seen him conspire with Loki and Ronan the Accuser, which includes supporting these two in their campaigns against Earth and Xandar. What if there is a second, equally powerful villain lurking in the shadows waiting to attack? A major film theory that we believe has real potential is the revelation that Scarlet Witch is still a villain. In Age of Ultron, we were first introduced to Wanda and Pietro Maximoff. The siblings collaborated with Ultron to destroy the Avengers.
We wait for 2 days for Tony Stark to kill us.
Wanda gave each member of the squad a scary vision of their deepest fears. She showed Tony that the Avengers will die. She provoked great fear and anxiety in him. Tony begins suffering from fear. Though she switched sides and joined the team in Civil War, her motives were not entirely made clear. That feels like a quick change for someone who harbored such pain and anger. After all, her brother died while fighting the Avengers in Sokovia. Wanda hasn't dealt with these issues yet.
Do you know how it felt?
With the introduction of Thanos and his ability to persuade disgruntled heroes to join him, we think she's going to return to her villainous ways.
You locked me in my room.
Okay, first, that's an exaggeration. Second, I did it to protect you.
Well, what did you think? Did those theories blow your mind? Which one of these do you believe will come true? Be sure to let us know in the comments below. While you're here, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and check out more awesome videos from our playlist. And if you liked our video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. As always, thanks for watching. See you next time.